So there's something you want to do, something that you want to become more masterful at, something you want to share with the world, but you're scared. How do you deal with that fear of being seen, of being witnessed, of being heard, of being more visible? How do you deal with the shame that comes up when you start moving towards that goal? Here's how. Hello and welcome to Temple of Akasha, the home of embodied spirituality with me, Natasha. So this video was inspired by an exchange I had on the top of Glastonbury Tour yesterday. And it's about how we cultivate the courage to do the thing that we want to do when there's a lot of fear present. So maybe, especially if, you've been through a spiritual awakening that has activated dormant gifts, if there is a talent that you want to share, there's a message you want to share with the world, there's something that you want to do, enact, become better at, become more masterful at. Maybe it's just a way of relating to others. It could be anything. How do you do the thing that you desire to do when there's a tremendous amount of fear present? So I'm going to give the example that really inspired this video. So yesterday I was in Glastonbury. I was guided with a friend to go to Glastonbury Tour. We were given very specific instructions about what we needed to do while we were there. And so I climbed to the top of the tour on my own. And when I sat down and I closed my eyes and I tuned in, I was immediately guided to start bringing through a soul song. And I started singing. And a really beautiful woman that I ended up speaking to after came in, asked if she minded if she could sit down. Of course, I said she could sit down. And she sat and I continued to sing. And then I got the guidance to channel and to connect with the land. And this carried on for however long it carried on for. And when I finally opened my eyes, we had a conversation. And she said, "How did you do that? Not the mechanics of channeling, but how did you get to the point where you can sit there and allow yourself to tune in and sing and channel without being self-conscious?" She said, like, even if I was alone on the top of the tour, I don't know if I'd have the courage to do that. And it really got me thinking, because this is not something being visible, right, and being seen. There were other people on the tour. There were other people coming in and out of the tour. I carried on, right? Being visible and being seen and being witnessed in my gifts, especially post Kundalini awakening. So my gifts are a bit more left field, with my light language coming through, with my soul songs, with the ways in which I work with energy, the ways in which I connect to spirit. They look quote unquote crazy to most people that are, not familiar with this work, and most people do not have a frame of reference for this level of working with reality. And so, yeah, it looks pretty bonkers to people. It looks pretty bonkers to the untrained eye. And you know how I moved beyond my crippling and paralyzing fear of being witnessed in being authentic in my expression? I just did the fucking thing. I did the thing over and over and over and over again. Something I always have prided myself on, and it's been present in me since I was a teenager, probably since childhood, but it was really present in my teen years, was that I've always been someone that has felt waves of shame coming up and can continue on with my goal or mission, even when that shame is present. Most people get taken out by their shame, right? Most people will feel shame for something, like, oh, I feel really embarrassed to say this thing, or I feel ashamed to share this part of me. I feel ashamed to go and ask that guy for his number. I was the one when I was a teenager that was going up to men and giving them my number and saying, "You're hot, let's go on a date. You're hot, let's talk," because the men never approached me. So I had to. And I have just naturally had this ability to feel my shame, right? It's there. It's not that I have the absence of shame. It's not that I have the absence of fear, but there are many things in my life where I've been able to feel that crippling fear present in my body. And I have just chosen to keep going and doing the thing anyway. I think one of the areas of my life that has benefited the most from this is my relationships. When we are trying to cultivate conscious relationships and conscious communication, so that means often bringing to conversation with people we love or people we're in relationship with in some way, it probably means being honest in ways that can be uncomfortable. It might mean like having to bring up a topic or a behavior or a way of being or something that came up in that dynamic that either upset you or triggered you. That's not a comfortable exchange to have. How do you get used to having exchanges that can be uncomfortable, i.e. being an adult? You just fucking do the thing and you keep doing it. So I now am the person in my network that is the relational alchemist. I'm the person that is pretty good at going into relationship circumstances that are pretty fucking uncomfortable. And I am happy to be the one that speaks the truth in those circumstances. I kind of almost get like a soul kick out of it, because it's like I know that I'm doing the work. When I say the thing that other people don't want to say, when I speak up and I use my voice, when I point out the obvious that either no one else is seeing or no one else is willing to speak to, I'm doing my soul's work. And not only that, I'm honoring my authentic truth, which is to call shit out when I see it. So the message here is to really make the choice within your being. You've got to make a decision at some point. You've got this thing that God has given you, a gift, an insight, wisdom, guidance, an idea, an inspiration. There is something within you that wants to be expressed. Maybe it's a conversation to have with someone. Whatever the thing within you that drew you to this video, whatever that thing is, it's live in you, it's real within you, and you have a choice. You can either choose to continue to serve the master of fear, El Diablo, the devil, right? Or you can actually pledge your allegiance to the one, to God, to source. Who are you serving? Do you serve fear or do you serve love? Who is your master? Are you still enslaved? Do you continue to perpetuate your own enslavement and thus the enslavement of this human experience, of this humanity? Or do you actually stand for liberation for yourself and therefore for this web of life by speaking your truth? It's going to be uncomfortable. If anyone tells you that meeting your comfortable edge and then moving beyond it can be a comfortable and easeful process, they're lying. We have comfortable edges for a reason. They're the set points for the ego-mind structure, also for the nervous system, right? They've been well established. They're well-trodden neural pathways in the brain that say, this is as far as I'm willing to go. This is what's comfortable, even if it's a tiny, tiny prison camp of a safety zone, right? This is what's comfortable. Your soul innately wants to expand into all of its multidimensionality, more of its allness. It's constantly seeking for you to move beyond those comfortable limits, those comfortable edges. That process almost always kicks up a shitload of resistance, a shitload of fear. And in those moments, right, I want to launch this course, but I don't know how I'm going to market it, and I don't know who I'm going to sell it to, and I don't know how much to make it, and I don't have the right equipment. I want to start this YouTube channel, and I don't know what to say, and I hate my voice on camera. That's a big one. So many people who come to me saying, Tash, how did you start your YouTube channel? Bearing in mind I've got 1,600 followers, right? So I'm not an expert here, but how did you start this YouTube channel? How did you do it? How did you show up on camera and start speaking and sharing your gifts and being so vulnerable about things? I did the damn thing. Have I been perfect at it? Hell no. I really encourage you to go back 10 or 15 videos. I look like Eminem. I look like Slim Shady. Spitting some wisdom, okay? I've looked rough in these videos. No doubt I've evolved a lot since my earlier videos. I don't know if I even hold the same views as I did that back then. Very unlikely, as we're always shifting and changing. If I let the fact that I look like Eminem with a shaved head and a dodgy yellow buzz cut thing, like if I let the fact that I was that person at some point that chose to experience that embodiment, if I let that hold me back and say, oh, I can't post while I look like Slim Shady, I I would be denying the life that wants to move through and up and out through me, right? So it's like, you get to choose. You do it now, or you probably don't do it at all, right? We have these ideas about doing things perfect, doing things when we're ready, doing things in divine timing. Most of that is all procrastination bullshit. What if right now, when you have the desire, the urge, the aliveness, what if that's the divine timing? What if you starting right now with the equipment you've got, with the level of, confidence you've got in this space right now with whoever's here, what if this right now with the aliveness that's coming through you, what if this is the right moment? And everything else is a strategy of your mind to stop you doing the thing that's going to help you expand. Do the thing, do it afraid, and keep fucking doing it. I am much more confident, much more able to continue to speak in videos now than I was a year ago. When I used to record my YouTube videos, I'd have to stop them and edit them often because I'd make a lot of mistakes when I was recording. I still make mistakes. I've just made a mistake like a minute and a half ago. I'm totally aware of that. Am I going to edit out? No, because I'm human and I want this message out there, and I no longer care enough about being perfect. To me, it's more about just doing the thing. There's a saying, right? Do it like 80%. Just do it at like 80%, whether that's at your capacity or with the tech around you or whatever. Just do it. Like, do a good job. It doesn't have to be the best job. Just do the job. Get it done. Refine your process as you go. And this is so this is so true, especially on this spiritual awakening journey where we have gifts coming online. We have ways in which we're being guided to live and move that feel radically different, that can feel absolutely terrifying, right? So unsettling, so destabilizing, so out there, so against the conditioning and the programming. And we have to choose to honor ourselves. We have to choose to honor that expression, because it's if that's a soul desire, it's not going anywhere. And eventually, the longer you ignore it, the more it's going to wear you down. It's going to become unbearable to ignore that thing. So you've just got to fucking move, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're terrified, even when your voice is shaking, even when your legs are trembling, even when your body is like, I don't think I can do this thing. If it's alive in you and it feels like a truth that needs to move through you, it feels like something you need to express, do the fucking thing. So the big thing that people feed back to me when I say just get on and do the fucking thing is, I'm scared of judgment. That's the big resistance or pushback that people will usually bring to me. And what is my response? It's like, you're going to let the judgments of others, you're going to let other people's ideas about you, their perceptions of who you truly are, you're going to let them stop you doing the thing? Honey, I've got some rough news for you. You cannot please everyone. You're going to be judged in this world. People are going to make assumptions about you in an instant. Some of those judgments will be kind, some won't be kind. And none of that is your fucking concern. None of that is your fucking concern. You know whose judgment you really fear? It's not their judgment. It's the judgment that keeps rolling around up here, that you keep buying into. That voice says you can't, you shouldn't, you look stupid, you're ugly, you're too fat, you're too thin, you haven't got enough knowledge, you haven't got the good enough tech. He'll say no, he'll say yes, blah, 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 blah. Right? We have to become so aware of how much we're engaging the sticky spot of the mind on this journey. The closer we get to the comfortable edge, to moving beyond the comfortable edge, the more the mental faculty is going to start rolling around and kicking up all sorts of fuss. If you are really dedicated to this journey and to yourself and to your own liberation, it's your responsibility to notice all of this and to do the damn thing anyway. So do it afraid. Do it even though there are 100 judgments rolling around, none of which are true. They are all just stories. They are all just thought forms that you keep buying into that keep you stuck in the first place. Do the damn thing, even though others will judge you, and they will. So actually, the earlier you can accept all of these things, that others will judge you, that it's going to get tricky and sticky and feel uncomfortable, that you're going to judge yourself, that you're going to probably feel immense shame with every big firmament of limitation that you break through. If you can just come to terms with all of that now, and you can see that the prize is worth it, that the person you're becoming and expanding into, the life that you're longing for, is beyond all of those firmaments of limitation, that you got to just keep going for. You got to keep driving through every limitation, every firmament that says I can't. You break through it. It gets uncomfortable. It gets sticky. It gets icky. You expand. You keep going. You'll hit another firmament. This is life. This is expansion. This is shedding. This is becoming. And you keep doing the damn thing. I'd love to know in the comments, what's the thing you want to do that you've been sitting on or sitting with that you've said to yourself, I can't do that yet, or it's not safe to do that? I'd love to know. Please leave it in the comments. I'm really intrigued. I have a lot of feedback, as I've said, about YouTube, people wanting to start YouTube channels, but I'd love to know, what are you sitting with or sitting on? What's the thing that you know you need to do, that your soul is like, hey, this is medicine that you need to give the world. This is medicine you need to give to this relationship. This is medicine you need to give to your boss, your colleague, your parent, your sibling, your child, whatever. And you're not dispensing that medicine because of fear. What is that thing? Let me know in the comments. All right, friends, wherever you are on your journey, I'm wishing you well. I'm encouraging you to do the damn thing and keep doing it. Consistency, dedication eventually creates a pathway of mastery. And for those of us that are really doing the work, we've been asked to walk masterful paths in our unique ways. We're really being asked to become masterful with our energy, with our awareness, with our consciousness. Because when we become masterful and devoted in the way that we live, we ripple that level of mastery, that level of devotion, that level of refinement of our consciousness into the web. We support those around us becoming more refined. We support this web of life becoming more refined, less reactive, less sloppy, less poorly boundaried, more in integrity, more in truth, more in service to justice and liberation. So you have a duty, my friend, not just to yourself and to your own liberation, but to this wider web of life that you're a part of, to honor the aliveness and the truth that wants to move through you as authentic expression. You have a duty to honor that authenticity, because it doesn't just serve you. Sending you lots of love, and I look forward to connecting with you again in the next video.